Hello. As promised, here begins a gloss on my novel, The Pergola Pump. I've started it now. I've got front matter. I've got the first part started, Lance, and there's been a couple videos run, so there's enough that I'll explain. Now, I want to remind you that this gloss really should not interrupt the story. I'm just putting it here so that for those who are curious to try to figure out what's he doing, or is there stuff in there I don't understand, I'll help you a little bit with that. So let me start. Hey, Cash. Let me start with the literary device allusion. I said that there would be a lot of literary allusions. Well, there are. I'm just going to tick them off. I'm not going to explain them a lot. Scheherazade. I allude to her, and the glasses are going to be on a good bit this time. So Scheherazade. I allude to Sarah. That would be Abraham's wife. You might know that story from Genesis. I allude to Moses. I allude to Chaucer, of course. I quote him at the beginning. One that April with the shore sulte, the drocht of March has pierced to the rote, and bathed every vine in such liquor, of which whereto engendered is the floor. Then longen folk to go on pilgrimages. That's the way I thought I would maybe pronounce it, which is closer to Middle English. But I tweaked it because I thought that would be such a put-off to a learner who had, or listener, who had no idea what I was doing. Now, what I haven't told you yet is the King Arthur legends. I avoided explaining that, but this is going to be very heavily influenced by the legends of King Arthur. And they have started already. Probably the first one, other than a few titles, names, is Monmouth Avenue. Well, Monmouth, Geoffrey of Monmouth, was the author of The Kings of Britain, the History of the Kings of Britain, or something like that. And he is one of the very first people ever to deal with King Arthur. So there's Monmouth Avenue. Then there's Astolat Street. Well, Astolat, I think I'll let you figure out about that yourself if you wish to. But it's coming out of the Arthurian legends. And there's Avalon Avenue as well. What else? I mentioned a knight errant on a quest. Maybe that's all I'll mention from King Arthur right now. I mentioned calming the storm. Well, that, of course, is a story from the New Testament. The Good Samaritan, Independent Bible Church, I mentioned that, the story of the Good Samaritan. That's an allusion to a New Testament story. The 1908 marathon. Now, that's not literary, really. That's historical. But I allude to it to help me in my description, and along with it, Queen Victoria. Jack London. Well, Jack London was a writer of realistic fiction. That was a time when people really, for the first time, wanted their fiction to be realistic. And in the text, or in my telling, I say you might want to consider reading it. Be careful with that, because what's much better known there is his short story, To Build a Fire. That one might be better to start with. Let's see. Sadie Hawkins, I mentioned the Sadie Hawkins dance. Okay, those are mostly the allusions. And I have to make a correction. I'll make it in the text, in the telling as well. But I got a name wrong. That character, I said that Jima had a nickname for a granddaughter. That nickname is Mandy. It's not what I said, and I don't want to get the word in your mind again. Her real name, her full name, is Elaine Mandili Elantar. It's. I guess it would have four parts. It's Elaine Mandili Wessex. I'm not so sure she kept that family name Elantar. I'll have to think about that. So anyway, Mandy is what that should be. Another mistake I made was I suggested that the girl with the mocha-colored complexion would have been in school. No, she wouldn't have, because it was August. You know, these are little things. I hope they don't matter too much. There are a lot of things that I have left hidden. I'm not telling you about them yet, and I may leave them hidden. But I'm telling you obvious ones to give you an idea of how dense this is with literary allusions. My style may begin to become apparent now, or may already be apparent. I suggest that it would be academic. Well, look at all this academic information that I'm putting here. And it's also, well, I also use the word metaphorical. A lot of people don't automatically know what a metaphor is, but that's going to be part of my style. Oh, I allude to Peace Corps when I talk about the character of Violet, Peace Corps Brazil. And one other thing I guess I want to tell you is that my delivery is slow, and it's too slow, I think. At first it's maybe okay, because there's a lot to sink in. But if I keep delivering my story that slowly, I think it's going to lack a liveliness. Now, I am an old man, but I think I hadn't better sound too much like an old man as I tell the story. All right, I think that's enough to start with a gloss. Feel free to comment on this. Feel free to ask questions. You could do the same about the telling itself. Comment on it, ask a question. I may or may not answer them there, but I'm more likely to answer them in the next version of this gloss. Okay, bye for now.